There it is. Okay. So we're going to go over the reading from yesterday, Battle of Midway. If you didn't turn it in, feel bad for you. You'll lose some credit on it, but turn it in, I'll give you some partial credit. There you go. So, number one, here we are. Describe why Japan needed to take the Midway Islands in the Pacific. What event caused the Battle of Midway to occur? Let's go. Let's go. What we got here? I guess we'll start off with Forney.
They went to Midway Islands because they wanted total control of the Pacific theater, and it started because of the bombing of Tokyo that we caused and the Doolittle raids.
Yeah, good job. So the Doolittle raids, right? All right. So the only way that occurred is because the Hornet sailed as close as they could to Japan. And Japan thought, well, if we extend our perimeter, right, if we extend our control out in the Pacific, then obviously this will limit or just totally get rid of any type of bombing attacks that could occur on Japan again, right? So try to extend their barrier, right? Extend their control in the Pacific, extending that shield, I guess, right? That perimeter that Japan has control, okay? So Midway Islands is also really close to what island that the United States controls as a territory? Griffin? Hawaii. Yep, good job. Good job. So in a way, this is almost like them island hopping, getting closer and closer to the mainland of the United States. Oh, look out. Look out. All right, so if you labeled any of those, that's good. 2, how much military power did Japan send to Midway Islands? Describe the force. What was America's military force being sent to Midway? What do we have? Go ahead, Serene.
Japan sent nearly the entire naval force, mostly aircraft carriers and battleships, and America basically did the same for long aircraft carriers as well.
Yeah, good job. Good job, right? So they were preparing for this battle. And like I mentioned yesterday, because of code breaking, because intercepting different messages from Japan, the United States was prepared for it. And we could maybe understand their strategy for this battle that might just ensue here out in Pacific, okay, with Midway Island. And their aircraft carriers involved. Japan sent really almost all of their naval force and their naval power. And they're really going for gold here with Midway. And luckily for the United States, we were prepared for the battle. We could understand what might ensue, what might happen next. And thank the Lord for those code breakers, right? The development of the CIA coming around this time. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. All right. With that being said, Japan had a lot of aircraft carriers. I believe there was 6, I believe, right? There are 4 major ones that were destroyed. That's for sure. The United States, obviously with the Yorktown, the Enterprise, the Hornet. Okay, we were prepared for this battle. All right, good. 3, what battle was the USS Yorktown involved in before it ventured to the Midway Islands? Kiara? I know we talked about this. Coral Sea, good job, Coral Sea. So involved Coral Sea, first aircraft carrier, right? Battle out in the Pacific, okay, out in the open water. Yorktown, after it took some damage there, repaired at Pearl Harbor and came back into battle for the Battle of Midway. Cool stuff. 4, describe the Battle of Midway as explained in the reading. What do we have for this? Jeffrey?
Battle of Midway is a one-of-a-kind battle that took place both in the air as a dogfight and on the sea as an air battle and a sea battle.
Okay, yes, good job. So very similar to what we saw with Coral Sea, okay, out in the open water, aircraft carrier versus aircraft carrier, dogfights up in the air, and they're trying to destroy really the Pacific Fleet for both the United States and Japan. And the United States came on the victorious side of this, and we won this, and within minutes, this changed the momentum, right? This changed the direction of the war in the Pacific theater. And this really was the turning point in the war. What do you say, Jeffrey? 5 minutes? Exactly, right? How crazy is that? 5 minutes has already passed since the start of class. That's really the whole significance of this battle. Within 5 minutes, we turned the tide of the war, and we were on the aggressive side, I guess you could say, for the remainder of the war since 1942 moving on. And we're going to be pushing back Japan to their own borders from here on out. America. Right, Forney? Yeah. 5. How many U.S. torpedo bombers survived the attack of the Midway Islands? What do we have here for this one? Did it cut off the questions? Oh no, we're good. We're good. Go ahead, Troy.
Only 6 of 40.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? So it did take a toll, especially up in the air. But for the most part, we know this as a huge victory for the United States. Okay. The Japanese Zeros are really impressive in the open air, and they're lightweight. Okay, they can maneuver up in the air as really it was just an impressive plane. Didn't have too much armor on it though, so if it got shot up a bit, it was probably going down. But for the most part, they were very maneuverable because of lightweight metals were used. All right, 6. Describe how 5 minutes changed Battle of Midway and overall war. So that was a primary resource there towards the end of the Midway. The reading you have Midway. What do we got here for this? Number 6. Kira, what do you have for 6?
That they had a logistical problem, the Japanese did, and it sent them back. So it meant that the Battle of Midway was won by the U.S. and then it kind of boosted morale.
Yeah, good job. Good job. So the Japanese seem like they're confused, right? Even though we intercepted their plans, when we almost surprised attacked them in a way because we knew exactly what location they were going to be coming to through the islands, the United States was prepared for this battle. That we knew exactly what location and destination that they were aiming for. And with this battle, okay, like I said, it was so significant, it turned the tide of the battle. And did anybody watch the video yesterday I posted? Yes, no, maybe so. Griffin, you didn't watch it? Oh my gosh. Fortnite videos are more important, right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But anyway, check the video out. The aircraft carriers the Japanese had there at the battle, it looked like they were just spinning around in circles. It was unbelievable. It was like anybody that would try to race me in my Honda Civic, just spinning around in circles. They won't even get off the starting line. That's kind of what the Japanese aircraft carriers look like. They're just rotating around. Where do we go? Oh my gosh, they have us surrounded. They're attacking from all different areas and locations. And it's interesting to see and interesting to watch. Like I said, 5 minutes changed the course of the war in the Pacific just like that for the United States. And a lot of that had to do because we knew exactly where they're coming from. We stole their plans, stole their strategy. Okay, and talk about that. Japanese will try to do the same thing, and the U.S. is going to use Native American language, the Navajo code talkers, to try to disguise our strategies and plans that are being sent out to the Pacific, obviously through radio and different types of strategies that way. And it's interesting how that all comes together. All right, is there any questions? You guys good? Yeah? Battle Midway? Good. All right, bell ringer for today. So, just really a review from yesterday. Describe the significance of the Battle of Midway. There we go. There we go. And we're going to go back towards the war in Europe now. We're going to backtrack just a little bit of time. Okay, just a little bit. Not a lot. Baby girl, just a little. Right? 50 Cent. You like 50 Cent, Jeffrey? Kind of. All right.
Oh, we got one out of him today.
Ooh.
Keep ready.
The most mainstream one, but I don't think matters.
I prepped him for it. I said, hey, I'm going to talk about 50 Cent today. Make sure you have a song ready to go. Yeah. Thanks, Tracy. I'm good. Thank you. So are we still collecting pennies, coins, and money? Are we done?
Yeah, it's only 2 weeks.
Okay. So do you want this back here? Or?
You can throw it away.
Okay. Pretty successful, though, huh?
Yes, it was.
Awesome. Awesome. Jeffrey. What shirt do you have on today? A band? Green Day. Name a song. What?
He definitely looks it up in the morning. What shirt do I got on?
Puts it on.
Green Day songs.
You know what? I should probably look up a couple songs here. Has them written out on a note card. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm ready for this. Griffin. Yeah, go ahead. Jeez, he's lifting up everything over here. When I go Tomorrow, I think I'm going to have a short essay for you.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, I know. Why? So it's another assessment grade for you? What? Be prepared. You never know what it might be. So look over your materials, your information here, your notes. Right, Forney? All right. What a good way to kick into Easter with an essay assessment. I like it. What do you think, Kira? Oh, yeah. You're getting it for the door comment.
What are we doing outside?
Oh, you hear that? Thanks again.
Dude,
Kiara.
you're the one that you started this.
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, we should go outside one of these days.
You said this week. For
It's
next
too
period,
cold.
You said this week.
It's 48 degrees. She's like, I'm texting everybody in the
No, I'm
period.
saying what the weather is when we come back.
Oh, yeah, we will, for sure. I promise.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
We might. We might go out twice.
We
Yeah, you're
should.
taking us out.
No.
No.
You started this
Yep,
mess.
next week it's supposed to be almost 70.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we'll do that. Fourth period. I'll talk to Mr. Miller, square it away. We'll be good to go. Sixth period can sit in here. Sit in here with the blinds
I will be
closed.
sitting anywhere that is.
I might actually put blankets over the windows here to make sure there's no sunlight coming in whatsoever at all. Huh? Yep. All right, here we go. Describe the significance of the Battle of Midway. What do we got? Trinity, what do you have?
We were very successful in defending ourselves and being on alert. We were aware of them before they came, and this gave us a good advantage. This was the turning point in the war and was a big boost to the American morale. This was a well-deserved victory.
Good job. Awesome. So Battle of Midway Islands, right outside of Hawaii, midway between the United States and Japan. Japan was trying to increase their territorial possessions in the Pacific, obviously getting closer and closer to the United States. They can get to Hawaii, look out, right? Because the next destination, next spot, right, would be west coast of the United States. So that being said, Japan was trying to expand their perimeter, expand their border, try to prevent another attack like the Doolittle raids on the island of Japan on their major cities. And with this Battle of Midway, this allowed the United States to continue these bombing runs onto Tokyo, onto other major cities within Japan, destroying and crippling their morale and their industrial production, right? Okay, so in 1942, Battle of Midway, the turning point in the war in the Pacific. The United States intercepting codes, intercepting plans and strategies by the Japanese to prepare for this battle and turn the tide in the Pacific for the good of the war. Right? The United States will now be on the aggressive, the offensive for the remainder of the war, island hopping their way back to the borders of Japan. Right, and that being said, 4 aircraft carriers of the Japanese were destroyed. Okay, really the bulk of their naval, I guess you could say, superiority at that time, because Japan did and was one of the strongest navies in the world at that moment. But now, after this battle, the U.S. is gaining momentum. All right, so that's the significance of the Battle of Midway. Turning point in the Pacific. Okay, here we go. Now, one term for today, that's it. As we're reverting back to Europe, look out. So I know last, chapter we had Operation Barbarossa, right? We put that on the board. So you already know that term. Actually, I'll put it on here so we don't forget and I can talk about it a little bit. So 2 terms for today. Operation Barbarossa and Siege of Leningrad. Oh, there we are. There we go. I'll actually show you a video then after we're done talking about this siege. And then get you working on the reading. Another reading. Oh, my gosh. Oh, but it's some good information, I promise. Great information. What's the Easter Bunny going to bring us, Serene?
No candy.
That'd be sweet.
Absolutely.
All I want the Easter Bunny to bring me is Godzilla and sushi.
Or if you can bring Hitler back to life. And, like,
Kiara, what is your deal with this?
You didn't even let me finish.
I don't want to hear anymore. You big goof.
Hitler Godzilla.
That would be really scary. Rah! Just a little mustache on him. Who?
I'd be more than
You.
president.
Jeez. Huh. Not me. No way.
You'd be like my roommate.
Kiara.
What?
Come on. There it is. What's up?
Negative about it.
3 minutes. That's all you got.
I got 3
Hurry up. Arnold Higgins, right? Arnold Higgins. Heck, he won the election. I can't believe you guys voted for him. What the heck's up with that for him? Wonder if Rooster would have done that. Right. All right, so what do we got here? Operation Barbarossa. What is that? Jeffrey, I know you know what this is. What is it?
Tuning for the invasion of the Soviet Union by Nazi Germany.
All right, good job, good job. So after the Battle of Britain, Germany figured, well, forget about invading them. There's no way we can do it, right? It'll be hard to do. We'll lose a lot of resources and men, and we'll just continue to blitz them, use the blitz, use the bombing runs by the Luftwaffe to destroy them, try to force them into surrender. So they then turned to the Soviet Union, right? And why did they turn to the Soviet Union? Troy, why did they turn to the Soviet Union? Yeah, right? So communists, these Jews here, right? They're the ones to blame for Germany's state, their status, right, at the end of World War I. And this depression that was going on at the end of World War I. These poor times, these troubled times, the anarchy, the chaos. And we talked a lot about that before, okay? And that being said, Hitler decided, well, it's now or never. Because the Soviet Union, what were they doing at this time to try to build into this industrial power? What were these plans called, Griffin? Yeah, the 5-year plan. So they're becoming a strong, dominant power. All right, so with Operation Barbarossa, this was really invasion of Germany. All right, so Germany invading the Soviet Union, okay, pushing far into the Soviet Union up to these major cities like Leningrad, which we'll talk about today, modern-day St. Petersburg, Moscow, the capital, and then eventually Stalingrad. All right. So with that being said, Leningrad, siege of Leningrad, what do we have? Morning, what do you have for siege of Leningrad?
The prolonged military blockade undertaken from the south by the army group north of Nazi Germany against the Soviet city of Leningrad.
All right, good job. So St. Petersburg, modern day St. Petersburg, Leningrad, located right here, guys, right in the north part of the Soviet Union, all right, the northwest. And this was a heavy populated area, and it was named Leningrad. Why? Why was it named Leningrad? What do you think, Troy?
After the leader, Lenin.
Yeah, Lenin, right? Who brought in the Soviet Union, these communist beliefs to the Soviet Union. And they named it after Lenin. Okay. It'll later be changed to St. Petersburg just by referendum, the people's vote in 1991. When the Soviet Union fell, they're like, you know what, let's just change it back to St. Petersburg. Okay, the people voted on it, and that's what they did. But anyway, St. Petersburg, Leningrad, right? At this time, Leningrad was a populated area. It's located up here close to the Baltic Sea. And they were gaining a lot of resources, support. Well, it was a port city, and obviously an industrial area. And the Germans wanted to try to eliminate it, right? Try to take it over. Okay, they marched with Operation Barbarossa, Blitzkrieg, all the way up to St. Petersburg, and they decided, you know what, we're not going to invade. We're just going to stop right here at the doors. Okay, rather than invading, because Hitler thought, well, we're just going to lose a lot of resources and men. We got to continue on and take over many of these cities and areas and be self-sufficient on resources, take over the communists, rather than actually invading the city, and which could cause a lot of resources and manpower. They decided to encircle it, right? Try to restrict it in a way. Okay, cut off any resources coming in, and really starve the city from food, okay, resources, energy, you name it. Right. So with that being said, rather than fully taking it over, Hitler and the Wehrmacht decided to surround the city and cut off any resources coming in. And around 1 million people died on the siege of Leningrad. It lasted around 900 days. Okay, 900 days. It was unbelievable. It was almost 3 years. So 1941, this happened with Operation Barbarossa, okay, and this cut off the city. And for about 3 years, the Germans thought that they would just kind of give up, and that many of the people would just die because of famine and because of lack of resources to heat their homes. And that's exactly what happened. And at the same time, the Wehrmacht were laying waste and bombing runs and are using artillery to destroy the city, which many people obviously died from that. Okay, and with the Luftwaffe and dropping bombs over the city. But for the most part, people died just because of lack of food. Okay, it came to a point where these people were actually resorting to mixing sawdust within bread to just fill their stomachs. Okay, and obviously that's not nearly nutritious at all. Okay, but they're trying to do the best that they could to try to obviously put food in their stomach. And if it was just sawdust, at least it was better than something, better than anything else. And it was a sad, sad time for Leningrad for 3 years, until after the war, and after obviously the Soviets pushed the Germans back out of that area. Right? But the Germans were really brutal to the people, the Soviets. Okay, and there's obviously a reason why Operation Barbarossa was one of the biggest invasions ever in world history. Okay, more than 26 million Soviets would die, civilians, soldiers, troops, you name it, and that had to do because of the brutality of the Germans, because of the Wehrmacht, because of the Nazis. And they view them really as the Leute, right? The undesirable people. So St. Petersburg, Leningrad, right? Leningrad is what they call it at the time, was encircled. The Germans didn't invade through it. They decided, well, we're just going to encircle it, try to cut off any resources coming in. And many of these people died because the temperatures were so low. In many cases, negative 20 degrees. People froze to death. People starved to death. There was just no resources coming in. Obviously, to bombing runs by the Germans. Okay. So with Leningrad, that was a devastating hit to the Soviets, but for the most part. Oh, what's up, Kiara?
When was the Holocaust? Was the Holocaust like after?
Oh, it was occurring right around this time, yeah. So we could say Kristallnacht was really the start of it, the Nuremberg laws in
Yeah, I mean, like, the
1935.
actual, like, burning.
The death camps?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 1940. I don't know. They give a year, 1940s. Yeah,
First kept open in 1950 in Yorktown,
yeah,
and they had 400 bill in 19. They had 400 bill in Poland by 1940.
yeah. So this was going on for a long, long time. Really, the start of Hitler's regime. Yeah.
He didn't waste no time.
No.
He got ready.
No. Yeah. Crazy stuff going on. So that being said, siege of Leningrad. This was really the Germans really encircling Leningrad and trying to cut off any resources coming in, try to starve the city of any type of resources. Okay. The only thing that actually helped them out was the freezing cold temperatures. There's a lake right next to St. Petersburg that froze over, which allowed for some supplies to come in from the Allied powers' help and aid. Right? It's amazing to say, like, what killed many of the people was the temperature alone. But in some cases, the lakes, the frozen, some of the bodies of water were so frozen over that allowed for transportation to occur with these trucks with supplies coming in of food and different resources to fuel, obviously, the homes for heat. And it was a sad, sad event. Like I said, lasted for about 900 days, close to 3 years, and many of these people lived terrible, terrible lives under the rule of really just the encirclement of the Wehrmacht, right? The German army. All right, is there any questions on that? You guys good? All right, I'm gonna play a video for you. Well, how about I let you just work on the reading? Check out the video on your own. Please watch it. Griffin. All right, so check out the videos and then obviously complete the reading for tomorrow. All right, there you go. There you go.